Okay, in this video we are going to be Placidusax, if that's how you pronounce his name, and Radagon and Elden Beast. First, we're gonna get some golden seeds. We're also gonna get Alexander's talisman, which we have to do a duel for with Alexander. First, when he tells you to duel, just put Terra Magica down. That way you can two-shot him with Moonbell.
As I suspected. My thanks. I knew you were the stuff of champions. It was a marvelous battle. I implore you, take what I bequeath from inside me. All vessels are destined to one day break. But the great Alexander lived as a warrior to his last.
I always feel bad, but that's a pretty good talisman for Ashes of War. And then we're gonna collect another 3 golden seeds, that we can get 1 more flask. That's the first one. Then we're gonna go to Stonebell Castle, where we skipped one of the tree things. I forget what they're called, but we skipped them in the beginning. It was too tough, but now we should be able to beat it with Comet Azure. And we can start it right when it comes out, that way it does come out. Just easily beat it. And probably could have done the other one before this one, since it's closer to where we were. And it's the same enemy, just a little bit stronger. That should be all we need to get another flask. And there's also a giant hammer here. I think it's called Giant Crusher, and it's one of the best strength build weapons. Now we're gonna head to the table so we can upgrade our Uchigatana, but as I found out, we won't really need it, but it's another alternative if you like to use different Ashes of War. This is a pretty good weapon. We should have collected all the ball bearings that we needed, and we need 10 for smithing, 5, 12 for 6, and then 12 for 7 and 8. So just make sure you have those if you're gonna upgrade it. Then we can just head back to the smith so we can strengthen it.
Who are you? Oh, now.
After that, we can go to this room to our left, There's an armor there, and it is also part of a quest. If you want to do it after we beat the game, you can go back to it. It provides a different ending, and it also leads to a remembrance that we probably won't do. Now we get here, and then just make sure you get the extra flask. Then you can put away any weapons you don't plan on using. That way it's easier to switch between them. And then we'll start making our way towards Placidusax. I still don't know if I'm saying it right. So you'll want to run past these enemies. You can equip the talismans later if you want, or right now. These are mainly for the mimic, and you can switch them to suit your needs after we summon him. I've fallen here so many times and died just trying to get to these platforms, so be careful. That's why I stopped. But yeah, we're gonna get over here, and then we just lay down. And we'll get to travel back in time, or at least it looks that way. It's kind of cool. Once we get in here, we can just summon the mimic here, and we don't have to aggro the dragon just yet. Then we can switch our talismans. I put the ritual shield talisman just in case we don't beat it in the first try and you have to keep fighting. But you should be able to beat it with Comet Azure. We'll just let the mimic fight it. But first, as soon as we aggro it, it's gonna start throwing lightning. We want to go past the storm of lightning in front of us and then use the moon. That way it becomes weaker, the magic. And then we want to circle around, go to the tail end. This way, since our mimic is fighting it, they'll keep most of its attention. And then we can use Comet Azure. And like always, just Golden Scarab, Picklefoot. These bigger bosses give you more time to do it, so you should be okay to do it. And we'll want more FP. And also make sure if you have a lot of runes, just to level up one more time, since we're gonna go straight to the final boss, Radagon and Elden Beast. And we'll basically do the same thing that we did with the mimic. Just put the talismans so it basically stays alive throughout the whole fight, or most of the fight. So the health talisman and the Dragon Crest Shield talisman will probably be the best choices. And if you want, you can also cast the Commander Standard's Ash of War or Golden Bow, whichever is easier, just to make you a little bit stronger. But one thing to note about Radagon is that he can deflect like every spell. So it's good to use spells when he's attacking the mimic. Or else he'll just deflect them and shoot some arrows at you. The dodging might take some getting used to, so you might die a few times. But we should be at a pretty good level that he doesn't do that much damage. Try to keep your distance and use spells. And then for this attack, it's good if you're close and you just circle to the left. You'll miss like, every time. You can also switch to the Asher Ward Talisman. I forgot to do it. That way your Asher Ward does more damage to him. Then for Elden Beast, I like to go to the back and then use the buff and comment at her. And they always take half his health. I've tried doing it from the front, but I usually get hit by the flame. But if you're able to do it from the front, most of the time it will kill him, like if you don't get hit by the flame. But as you see, we don't take that much damage. And like I said earlier, you can use like Golden Bow, so you can reduce the amount of damage and do more damage yourself. I also try to use an Asher War and Gideon's hammer. It reduces the magic and holy defense of both you and Elden Beast. You don't have to do that. You can just keep using the moon if you want to reduce his magic defense. That way you don't take that much defense. And then this attack, if you roll back and forth, it'll stop chasing you for a while. And as you probably noticed, the Mimic's taking most of the aggro, so it's keeping it safer. It won't always be that way, but you can always like keep your distance, and its aggro usually goes to the Mimic. For these, it's best to jump, but sometimes you can roll them. I think we got a decent RNG for this battle as well, since it doesn't do one of its big attacks where it just starts throwing the projectiles. But yeah, as soon as you beat it, just put the golden scarab underneath the pickle foot to get extra runes. Because our next one will be Melania, and she's gonna be tough. I'm probably gonna struggle to find an easy way to beat her. Probably won't be easy, but it should be easier. We'll see. And that should be all for this video, so I'll see you in the next one.